No DQ Galaxy, we are live with a recap of Friday Night Smackdown for October 11th, 2024. We are coming off Bad Blood, this episode of Smackdown in Greenville, South Carolina, featuring the fallout from Saturday's premium live event. Shout out to everybody out there watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I very much appreciate your viewership and support. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get to the recap. We opened up with Jey Uso making his first appearance on SmackDown since he was brutally attacked by the new Bloodline. The crowd chanted, "Welcome back." He said he was put on the shelf by his younger brother who did not have the balls to do it face to face. Jimmy said he plans on kicking his brother's ass in the main event. And at this point, we had the OTC Roman Reigns arrive. Roman came into the ring. He had the crowd acknowledge Big Jim. Reigns said he's not a wise man yet. He's the tribal chief. He has been for 4 years. For 4 years, they took what they wanted. They had everything, but now Roman Reigns does not like the position that they are in. He wants to be the ones again. But Jimmy said Reigns is a chief without a tribe. Jimmy said that the reason he came back was because Roman Reigns needed him. Jimmy then said that they need help if they're going to take on this new Bloodline. The crowd knew what this meant. They started the yeet chants. Jimmy said he knows one person they can get some help from, and the crowd was doing the yeet in reference to Jey Uso, but then Roman Reigns had a very simple response to this: no yeet. Jimmy was disappointed. He said at this time, he's the only one that still acknowledges Roman Reigns, but then he left the ring in disappointment. I thought this was a really strong angle. I'm happy because we're finally getting the return of Jey Uso to the Bloodline. This was the first tease for it. Keep in mind, and Jerry pointed this out in the chat room, we got 6 weeks until Survivor Series. They have time to build this up and get these guys back together. Of course, Roman Reigns is not going to be automatically cool with it, and nor should Jey Uso. You have to have several weeks of build-up and lead to the point where Roman Reigns and Jey Uso are finally able to bury the hatchet. And Calvin Bowman wants to know when Paul Heyman and Sami Zayn will come back. Again, we got 6 weeks. Paul Heyman could very well be a voice of reason. I mean, Roman Reigns did use the term wise man on the show. We're still waiting for Paul Heyman to return. He could be the one that bridges everybody back together. And you have to have Sami Zayn part of it too. He was the honorary Uce. You got to have him in the mix. Big shout out to Hamp Connell, long-time viewer, I should say. Hamp sent in a $9.99 super chat. I appreciate it. Hamp says, since you're off Monday, here's part 2 of 20 years in WWE history. So October 14th, 2002, Triple H asks Kane and asks, did you force Katie to have sex with you when she was alive? Or did you just wait and do it to her when she was dead? Of course, that was the infamous Katie Vick angle. And funny enough, 20 years ago, that angle took place. And right here on NoDQ.com, back then, themayhem.com, there was a show started called Extreme Mayhem. And that led to Extreme Mayhem Video. And then eventually we had Talk Wrestling with Jeff Meacham. And then eventually No DQ&A Video with me. That was the beginning of media on NoDQ.com. The first show we ever did was a recap of that Katie Vick episode of Raw where Triple H did the deed with Katie Vick wearing the Kane mask. Jonathan Coachman commented on that segment. Check it out if you missed it over on NoDQ.com. And Ian, this is my in-laws' sunroom, I guess is what you call it. You know, the little deck. Not sure what you call it, but yeah, I'm in that room right now recording this. So just wanted to take note of your comment and give you a response. Let's get back to SmackDown. We had our first match of the evening, and thank you again, Hamp, for the super chat. I appreciate it. We had LA Knight defending the United States Championship against Carmelo Hayes. Pretty good match. I enjoyed it. You had Andrade out there at ringside, and Carmelo was distracted throughout the match. Even though Andrade didn't actually do anything, Carmelo was still thrown off, and it was a back and forth match. They did trade some near falls. LA Knight came off the top with the elbow drop. Carmelo kicked out, and then Carmelo countered the BFT. He hit the scissors kick, and he delivered a cutter. LA Knight kicked out of that. And then Carmelo started to go up top for nothing but net, but Andrade stood up out of his chair. Carmelo just hesitated for a split second, and that's really all LA Knight needed. He was able to avoid nothing but net. They countered each other a couple of times, and then Knight was finally able to hit the BFT, and he picked up the win. And it was pretty much a clean finish, but Andrade's presence was definitely felt by Carmelo Hayes. And then Andrade made fun of him, used the fries in the bag line that Carmelo used on Andrade a couple of weeks ago. Entertaining stuff. And yes, I agree with Matthew. Nice sell job of the BFT from Carmelo. Backstage, Jimmy Uso met with Cody Rhodes. Cody thanked Jimmy for helping at Bad Blood, but warned Jimmy that Solo isn't the same guy since Jimmy left SmackDown. And Jimmy said he's not going to be doing any more favors because he knows Cody Rhodes has already got his own business to deal with. And speaking of that business, we were set to have a tag team title match for the women's titles. We had Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson from NXT, the Meta Girls, part of the Meta 4 faction. They cut a pre-match promo, and then they came to the ring, but then all of a sudden, Kevin Owens showed up, and he said he was told to not come there. He said Cody Rhodes turned on him, not the other way around. His mic was quickly cut, so he went outside the ring and got on the commentary headset and once again said Cody turned on him. Cody came out there. You had the officials. Randy Orton showed up and tried to calm Cody down. Randy got into the ring, tried to calm Kevin Owens down. You had the officials. And during all this, Kevin Owens accidentally elbowed Randy Orton. So Randy Orton struck back, and Kevin Owens looked very heartbroken that his friend Randy Orton did that to him. More on that in just a little bit. Good segment, though, and there's definitely more to discuss, so stay tuned. So we had the tag match after another commercial break. We didn't just have no match. We did, in fact, have a match. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill defending their tag team titles against Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Not really much of a match. It was very basic. You had Piper Niven and Chelsea Green out there, and they were out there watching the match. Legend and Jackson did get in some offense. They went right after the champions, but unfortunately, they're, I guess, being rookies and all, they did not keep their eyes on the prize. You had Lash Legend taking a shot at Chelsea Green on the outside, and that was ultimately their downfall. Jade was able to get a hot tag. Jade and Bianca then finished off Jackson to score the victory and retain their tag team titles. But yeah, it was a very basic match. Not really much else to say about it. Champs get another successful title defense, so I guess that's a positive. We had Randy Orton backstage with Cody Rhodes. He tried to tell Cody to calm down. Randy said he will handle things. He will fix things. And Nick Aldis also told Cody to regroup, focus on Gunther. SmackDown needs that win, because it's all about the brand supremacy. And there's more to come with all this, so stay tuned. We had Nia Jax along with Tiffany Stratton come into the ring, Miss Money in the Bank and the Women's Champion. Nia gave credit to Bayley for putting up a hell of a fight at Bad Blood. However, Bayley, like everyone else, according to Nia, cannot beat her, including little girl Liv Morgan. And Nia said when she beats Liv, Tiffany is going to take advantage and cash in Money in the Bank. And Nia grabbed Tiffany and had her under her arm and was like, messing around with her. This was pretty entertaining, I have to say. Naomi came out there, said the only reason Nia is the champion is because of the broke down Barbie. Naomi said she doesn't need anybody to beat Nia, said she wanted a match. Nia was down with that. She had a referee come out there. But then Liv Morgan, Raquel, and Dominic Mysterio arrived from Judgment Day. And they said they were going to watch Nia lose the match. Nia was angry. She shoved down Naomi. And then we had our match, which was largely dominated by Nia. Nia was destroying Naomi, gave her the hip attack. She was on the apron and she crushed Naomi's head into the ring post. Naomi was eventually able to make a comeback. They fought on the outside of the ring, and Nia Jax caught Naomi with a Samoan drop on the floor, and then Nia started to have words with Judgment Day. Naomi started to make a comeback after the break, came off the top with a crossbody. Nia kicked out of that, and then they were both on the outside again. Tiffany took a cheap shot at Naomi while the referee was distracted, but then Raquel took the Money in the Bank briefcase away from Tiffany. And Nia went up top for Oblivion. Raquel got on the apron, distracting the referee again. Liv Morgan then took the Money in the Bank briefcase, hit Nia with it. Naomi then powerbombed Nia Jax out of the corner and got the 1-2-3 victory in what was a non-title match. So Nia Jax still your champion, but Naomi has a win. Presumably will get a future championship opportunity. And then after the match, Rhea Ripley showed up. Rhea Ripley ran down and she went after Raquel, and then she got in the ring, turned her attention to Liv Morgan. Nia Jax, though, grabbed Liv. So Rhea took a shot at Nia Jax and then tried to get her hands on Liv, but Dominic was able to pull Liv Morgan to safety. Now, there will be a follow-up to this on Raw. The show has already been taped. I'm not going to say what happens in case you don't want spoilers, but if you do want spoilers, head over to NoDQ.com. The spoilers were in fact posted if you want to know what happens on Monday's Raw. And just as a reminder, I will be taking Monday off since it's a taped show. And unless they add something in post-production, I don't really think I need to do a live recap of Raw. But again, if you want the spoilers, head over to NoDQ.com. I expect Nia Jax to win the match, Nick. I mean, I guess it could go a different way, but I feel like that's the obvious outcome. Nia Jax wins. She's the dominant champion. Liv Morgan, going up against Nia. Like, Nia's, tough. And Liv is more about the trash talking. She's kind of like a female Miz. It's like a female Miz versus a female Bronson Reed. You're going to go with Bronson Reed. So, yeah, my early prediction, and of course I can change, but as of now, I would go with Nia. This was another good segment here, setting up Monday Night Raw, which is fine, and Crown Jewel for that matter. So then we had Carmelo Hayes backstage, and he vented to Nick Aldis. He's mad about Andrade being out at ringside for that match. Nick Aldis brought up how they're 3 wins apiece, so they're going to have that 7th match. What a shocker. We're having the 7th match, and the winner might get a United States title shot. And told Carmelo to not miss. Then we had Legado del Fantasma come in. They're also mad about not getting opportunities. And Nick Aldis ended up saying that Angel, Garza, and Berto, whatever his name is, they will get an opportunity against a new team next week on SmackDown. And in case you guys are wondering, I think we all pretty much know the team. It is, in fact, the Motor City Machine Guns. They showed another vignette, Detroit, and they actually flashed very briefly MCMG, Motor City Machine Guns. They're coming next week, and looks like they'll be going up against Angel and Humberto on next week's show. Should be a fun debut. As I've said, I'm very happy for Chris Sabin in particular, both guys, but just back to like 2003, seeing him in TNA, and we actually got the chance to interview him back in 2005 on XMV, as I had mentioned earlier, doing that video interview with him in 2005 at PWG. So been following Chris Sabin's career for 20 plus years now, and it's really cool that he's finally getting an opportunity in WWE after all this time. And same thing for Shelly too. Shelly's been around for quite a bit. All right, and Chris Sabin's a 311 fan, so hard to hate the guy. We had a Solo Sikoa promo, and he just basically said Jimmy Uso will not be getting revenge. Jimmy will acknowledge Solo, blah, blah, blah. And then we had a backstage segment. DIY and Street Profits were yelling at each other, but Nick Aldis said they had their opportunity. Aldis has a new team, Motor City Machine Guns, but didn't say the name of the team, but we all know that's the team. And then as Profits and DIY kept yelling at each other, Nick Aldis took off because, as it turns out, there was another parking lot attack. This time, Kevin Owens attacking his friend, Randy Orton. Felt that Randy Orton picked his side, so Owens took out Orton in the parking lot, just like what he did to Cody Saturday night after Bad Blood. Michael Cole and Corey Graves were talking about this, and Cole accidentally said Kevin Dunn, former WWE head of production, instead of Kevin Owens, which was quite hilarious. No mention of AJ Styles on this show, so I wonder if he was really hurt. I mean, there have been conflicting reports on it, but there was nothing on this show regarding Kevin Owens, or not Kevin Owens, AJ Styles. People were talking about Kevin Owens in the chat. Yeah, no AJ Styles on this show. We had Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy Uso in the main event. Bloodline was surrounding the ring. Oh, I guess they did mention the injury for AJ Styles. I guess I missed that part. But yeah, he wasn't actually on the show. No promo, nothing like that. This match was good, but pretty much what you would expect. You know, you had the Bloodline out there. You know where this is going with the interference. And Solo was mostly in control. Jimmy did get the early advantage. Solo wanted Jimmy to acknowledge him, and Jimmy acknowledged his fist in Solo's face. And he built up some momentum, but then he came off the top, and Solo caught him with a shot. And then Solo started trash talking, telling Jimmy he's the tribal chief. And then Jacob Fatu would take a cheap shot while the referee was distracted. And then after the break, Solo hit the spinning solo, but Jimmy was able to kick out. Solo did the hip attack. Crowd was chanting, "We want Roman." Solo went for another hip attack, but Jimmy countered with a super kick. And then Jimmy came off the top with a crossbody. Solo kicked out. And then at this point, the Bloodline started interfering. Jimmy was trying to fight them off. He avoided a Samoan spike, delivered a Samoan drop, but then he went up top for the splash, and there was another distraction. Jacob Fatu knocked Jimmy off, and then Solo hit the Solo spike to pick up the win. I mean, this was definitely the right finish. Solo needed the win to regain some momentum after losing at Bad Blood, and it furthers this storyline that the numbers game is a real problem for the good guys. After the match was over, they continued their attack on Jimmy, and at this point, Roman Reigns came out there to try and help matters. You know, he was going to let Jimmy do it on his own, but unfortunately, the numbers game was a problem. Roman Reigns came out there, fought them off as much as he could, but the numbers game caught up to him. And then Jimmy tried to help out, but he was overwhelmed. Both guys were beat up. Solo hit the Solo spike to Roman Reigns. Then they left the ring. They did the ones out by the ramp. And then Jimmy Uso looked over at Roman Reigns as both were trying to recover from their attack. And Jimmy once again said, they need help. And that was the close to SmackDown. Overall, I thought it was a very good show. They're finally moving in the direction of Survivor Series. You know, we still got 6 weeks. We got Crown Jewel, but they started for the first time planting the seeds for the OG Bloodline to get back together. And like I said at the beginning, they got 6 weeks. They got plenty of time to set this up. And Roman Reigns will have to be humbled a little bit. You know, he was out there at the beginning. He was, you know, very confident Roman Reigns that we've come to know. But yeah, now he might have to eat a little bit of that humble pie and acknowledge Jey Uso. You know, all those years Roman was kind of looking down on Jey, and now he's going to need Jey for help. So I think this was all very well done. You know, they're definitely getting in the groove with this storyline. Business is picking up as we get to Survivor Series. This is what I've been waiting for the past several months. I've been waiting to see this advancement with the storyline with Roman back and getting the Bloodline back together, setting up War Games, and I'm enjoying it. And I liked the U.S. title match. The stuff with Kevin Owens was well done. You know, maybe we had a little bit too much of the people on the outside of the ring providing the distraction, but overall, I thought it was a really strong SmackDown. I give it a B+. Very good show. Definitely worth checking out, and looking forward to next week. I mean, they got me invested. I'm ready for next week. So to me, that means the show was a success. That's all I got for tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching the video. And as always, I very much appreciate your support. Spread the word about the channel. Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Building Nexus. How does Jay get convinced to reunite? Well, remember the saying, blood is thicker than water. They're all still family. But like I said, Jay has to feel appreciated. Jay needs to hear the words, Roman Reigns needs to say he acknowledges Jey. He needs to show that respect to Jey and admit they need help. That's the key here for Jey to come back. Blood is thicker than water. And if Roman Reigns does the right thing and shows that respect to Jey, Jey will do the right thing and help his family. So I think ultimately that is where this is going. And then, they're still going to be outnumbered 3-4. And that's when Jey might have to reach out to somebody. And then that's when you get the full OG Bloodline reunion, Roman Reigns, the Usos, and the honorary Us, Sami Zayn. And Paul Heyman, too. They might need Paul Heyman to be the one to get everybody back together, get the band back together. So I'm really looking forward to it. They got plenty of time. We still got 5 more weeks of TV, 6 more weeks of TV until Survivor Series. They got plenty of time. No need to rush it. Let it cook. You got several more weeks to build it up. Should be some really good TV. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night, everyone. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your weekend. We got a busy week coming up, although no Raw, but next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, we will be back with the No DQ review, so check that out. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com. I will be covering Wrestle Dream this weekend, results on NoDQ.com, and then recap right here on the channel after the show. I'll see you all then. Say yes to NoDQ.com, and I will see you all next time.